Okay.
So
All right.
there we go. All right. So the content, this meeting is being streamed. All right. Let me refresh over here. We are live. There we go. Turn my
Gotcha.
volume down on the other
Yeah, I
set.
got you.
All right. We're good. We can
All
get
right.
this thing.
Wonderful.
You one of these days we're gonna act like we know what we're
We
doing.
may get our act together.
Yeah, I
one of
doubt it,
these
but we're
days.
gonna
I
try.
doubt it. Yeah, that's true.
Hey, there's no point.
All right. We ready?
Hi, this is Jack Hughes of Wang Chung, and you're listening to the DND Dynamite 80s podcast show with your hosts DC and DH.
Live from Nashville, Tennessee, you are listening to the D&D Dynamite 80s podcast with your hosts, DC and DH. So guys, take it away.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Yes, welcome in to another episode of D&D Dynamite 80s. I'm DH.
I am DC.
Hey, we're here back on our normal Wednesday nights at 7:30. So you're either welcome or you have our condolences, whichever
absolutely.
it is.
Yeah, it's one or the other for sure.
Yes. Hey, DC, look, man, I'm so excited about tonight's show. I don't even care how your week's been. I just want to know. Let's get the introductions done.
Yeah,
Let's get this one rolling.
Man.
Because, brother, this is going to be a great show.
I've
been looking forward to this.
So excited about this one.
Oh,
sure.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we have Steve Fossen and Somar Macek. I hope I said it right. And they're joining us from Heart by Heart. And we want to talk some heart music tonight for sure.
Oh,
guys, how are y'all?
Great. I'm changing my name to SF.
Hey,
I think that's a winner.
That'll be perfect. We'll put D and SF show. New we're good.
We'll just change it up.
It's all good. Hey, it would help our ratings. It's all good.
Anything could help the ratings for sure. No, you guys, I think are joining us from the West Coast, Oregon area.
No, we're Washington.
Washington. Okay. There you go. All right. So,
however, I do love Oregon.
Okay. Well, DC he's off as usual. So there you go.
Got the goodies on.
I got you.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I have to show you something. I just got this in to go on. I'm fixing to redo the back wall.
Now that was meant to be. Yeah, there you go.
It. So you guys are an 80s show, so you got to love the Goonies, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
So I need you to remember this when it comes time to choose which you prefer in the challenge later.
Yeah, we'll have a little challenge that we're going to ask you about. So, yeah, he always tries to get his choice always
there you go.
Picked.
There you go. Listen, I'm just
don't be influenced by that.
I'm going to turn the page and we're going to start the show now.
Right. So he's already digging. He's already digging. Let me start with this first, guys. How about your music background? Type of instruments that you can play and how early in life you started with music and knowing that was a passion for you?
Who's first?
Well, mine's like way shorter than Steve's. So, I mean, I don't know that playing instruments in elementary school or something really counts because I didn't stick with anything like that. I really don't play any instruments, sadly, but I sing, so that's about it. Oh, I can't even
the cowbell, maybe. Okay, there you go.
Can't do two things at once. Like I can't dance and sing. I can't shake a little thing and keep a beat. The little
tambourine.
And if you're
I'm like
still.
Clueless. I have to sing and do two things. It's not happening. So
I got you. I fall in that camp too.
Yeah, and she knows her strength. Her strength is her voice, not.
Sure. Oh yeah.
No. So that's me. I've been singing since I was 2 years old. So just stuck with that.
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
Fabulous. Yeah, not long ago. Yeah,
no.
Gotcha. How about you, Steve?
Oh, well, when I was, my parents always had the radio going or the records on the record player or, in the car and everything like that. So I just was exposed to it a lot. And in Seattle, there was a station called KJR. And they played all the hits of the day. And if you can remember back in those days, if a hit was a hit on the West Coast, it was a hit in the Midwest and a hit on the East Coast all at the same time. Everybody was into the same
Was
music.
playing them. Yeah. Yeah.
And well, maybe they didn't love it, but we all heard the same music all the time. And you know, I was fascinated by it, and for some reason, I could always pick out melodies on whatever instrument somebody gave me or was available, especially if it was an organ or, you know, something like that. And I just loved music a lot and just was very inspired by the artists of the day. And my life coincides with the beginning and everything of rock. So I was taken on the ride of rock from the very beginning to now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that kind of leads me into what I want to kind of, my first question I want to start with is I want to know who some of y'all's musical influences were or still are.
Oh, well, the reason I play bass is because of Paul McCartney and the Beatles.
Yeah. There you go.
And then, of course, I was big influence was Bill Wyman, of course, from the Stones, John Paul Jones, and Chris Squire. And you might notice they're all English, you know,
right?
And those were my influences when I was a kid, and I think you can kind of sense it in my playing at moments during the night and on record and stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah. So about when did you pick up the bass?
Well, I was 15.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm 75 years now. So the math would make it.
It's only like 20, right?
Yeah. This depends on how you want to do the numbers.
Right. You're right. This just kind of all works out.
That's
Summer,
right.
what about
What's
you?
in the
Who were
number?
some of your influences?
For me, the main person I would have to say was Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Good one.
I wanted to be Whitney when I was a little kid, and I sang Whitney Houston songs all the time for school functions, around the house. Everything was Whitney Houston, and she just, to this day, I mean, I sure wish she was still around, but yeah, her giant voice and the way she grew up singing in the church, and you know, you didn't see her playing an instrument either. She just had her beautiful voice, and that kind of was a lot like me. I sang in church, and that was kind of like my upbringing. So
Okay.
Well, that's awesome. Well, one of the things, and I just want to say this as we're getting into the interview. One of the things that I love is the artistry and the musicianship that you guys put on display. From, you know, I've been watching a lot of the videos and things, and it's amazing the performances you guys put out there, and kind of let folks go back to that time in their life and have that time to kind of reflect and enjoy on happier times for a lot of folks. So first off, I want to appreciate you and thank you for sharing your gifts with everyone.
Yeah, that is truly a gift.
It is, yes.
yeah. Aw. we love what we do. We really, really do.
And it shows. You can tell in the
Yeah.
performances. It
Absolutely.
shows.
And we really appreciate and love our bandmates too. I mean, they're fun to travel with. They're fun to play with. Everybody's very conscientious about learning their parts and presenting, you know, their parts. And you know, what we try to do is do better every gig. We try to make better than the last gig, so everybody is on that same page, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
DC?
Talk about them for just a moment here. You kind of give them a shout out because they are phenomenal musicians. All
Well,
of
of
them.
course, you know, Mike DeRozier, the
Sure.
original drummer for Heart.
Right.
Him and I have been playing together since 1975.
Just a while. Right. Just a while.
Yeah, 1975, and he's a great drummer. He's a great guy. I mean, he's fun to hang out with most of the time.
Hey, everybody has their quirks.
Yeah,
okay?
you know, he's eccentric. You know, I'll admit it. He's eccentric, which is fine. He's whatever electricity he's earned it. He's earned the right to have it.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
And-
no
and-
question about it.
DC, I was going to say, I think something was hit on there by Steve that we should take. It might help us a lot if we try to
Anything will
do.
help.
If we try to do better every show, we might get better at this. So Steve,
Well,
thank
we're
you
on
for
year
that
5 and we
advice.
hadn't got much better, so I don't know when it's going to start getting
I
better.
think our meter's going that way.
Well,
The guests save us.
Right. The guests do
one
save
thing
us.
that Mike and I, we both do this. We like to record our rehearsals and performances so we can listen to them back and then make a informed judgment on how we actually played.
Hmm.
The rest of the band too. So okay, and then there's Somar Macek on lead vocal, of course.
Sure. Right.
And then the other lady in our band, Lizzie Daymont, she attended the Berklee School of Music in Boston for a couple years or something, I don't know. But anyway, she decided she was moving to Seattle, so she packed up a U-Haul van and moved to Seattle, and lucky for us, that's where she stayed, and she met her husband out here, and then somehow we connected up, and it was great. So, and she's a big Heart fan, and she really knew the music already before she even joined the band. So
yeah.
And then there's Chad Quist, our lead guitar player, who's been playing since he was, toddler. His mom gave piano lessons to people when he was a kid. And then when he was like 4 or 5, she said, "Would you want some lessons?" And he goes, "Sure." So she taught him. And then after a while he went, "This piano stuff is pretty cool, but I want to be a guitar player." And he was the first chair guitar player in elementary school, junior high, high school, everything. And then he Berklee School of Music also.
Yeah. Wow. Well, at this point, DH, I think we're going to do a little bit of let's show the folks what they do.
Yes, let's do that. Oh, you're going
Let's
to be
do that.
amazed, folks. If you haven't seen them in action, amazing. So you're going to enjoy this so much. Go ahead, DC.
All right.
Kick it out. Come on, kick it out. And now it chills me to the bone. How do I get you Now I'm stronger. Now I'm coming through. Straight on. Oh, when you dream on any ship of dreams. But try to understand. Try to understand. He's a magic man, mama. Oh, heartless. You're sinning in the name of rock and roll. Crazy on you. You're gonna burn to the ground. Ooh, barracuda. It's been a long time, been a long time, been a long Thank you, everybody. We are Heart by Heart.
All right.
I told you, folks. I told you. Once you see it, you want to see more. Amazing. Amazing. Yes.
I'll tell you this. I'd say I've seen this a bunch of their work online, and I was completely floored every time I watch some of their stuff.
Yes.
But I want to tell you this. I just noticed something in this one that I had missed. Michael is a snappy dresser for a drummer. He don't wear he don't wear like the ripped up T-shirts or the muscle shirts or something. You know, he's
I think he knew there was gonna it was gonna be filmed, so he wore his night shirt. That doesn't look good.
gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious. Now, this is going to be the most important question of the night. Okay.
You going to do that now?
You want to wait?
Well, no, go ahead. You've already
right.
let it out of the bag now. So
Well, so
I
what
don't
we
want
did-
them to enter in the interview this early. So, but go ahead with your question.
I think Steve's over there thinking, "Oh, what did I get myself into on this
Yes,
interview?"
yes.
All right.
Go
So the
ahead.
most important question of the night, and what we do is every Friday morning we kind of recap the show and kind of do a little review and do some work on what to work on and all of this.
We
and
meet
do
often
this. Yes,
because we have a lot to work
yes.
on.
But it's one of those very high budget shows. So we meet at the local Waffle House on Friday morning.
That's our
And
spot. Yeah.
What we do, we're going to give you two artists, and this is starting fresh this week. And we don't tell
yes,
you
this is a new one. New one
we
out
don't
of the
tell
box
you
for you guys.
who don't tell you whose artist is who, and we let you guys kind of pick your favorite or ever how you want to judge that. And then whoever's artist doesn't get picked has to buy breakfast. So DC has a habit of saying I cheat a lot, and I don't know why, because I feel like this time I'm against the win. So I'm going to sit here quietly. I'm going to turn my page and write a few things down because I think I am battling against the wind on this one.
You're
So
ridiculous.
no hints. We're just going to see how this goes.
Yeah.
All right,
I
DC,
think that,
you
well,
tell
obviously
them.
they know the first one.
How?
So what we're going
What?
to do,
What?
we're matching up Bob Seger versus
What?
George Thorogood.
Okay.
So
So
whichever you
You guys get to choose.
prefer, which one you think.
Hey, I wonder what those hints might be.
Hang on. I got to turn my page so I can write this
Now-
down. So go
Well,
ahead.
Summer, before you make your choice, I'm the one that went back and forth getting in contact with you. I'm the one that actually did that. So
But
he
he's
just brings his friendly face onto the show. So I did all of the legwork. So just remember that as you choose.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
there's one of those artists that actually we played with quite a bit back in.
Oh, that Hart
70s.
played with.
Yeah.
Okay, so who might that be? So what do you lean
That
towards?
might be Seeger,
Okay. Seeger.
but
Oh
she's
boy.
got a
Okay.
choice too, doesn't
We
she?
got to go for it.
She does, but since you said Seeger, her choice doesn't matter unless she says Seeger. I'm just kidding. Summer, what do you think?
Seeger.
Seeger.
Oh God.
It's a sweep. It's a sweep.
How do
Because
I
he-
always pick? I pick the one that loses constantly, and he gives me the
Well-
choice.
Well,
That's crazy.
So
That's how good my luck is.
yeah. Well, both of those artists are from similar eras, but Seeger had his music was a lot more in the vein of what Hart was.
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Which brings me to a question for you all is because this is an 80s podcast. So, by getting us on here, well, we don't do a ton of 80s. I mean, Steve was in mostly the 70s era of
Sure.
Hart.
Sure.
There's a little bit of 80s in there, but that's still
Right.
okay. You like this anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and here's
well,
the thing.
here's-
I
yeah.
love Hart
We-
the original,
Yes.
first music that came out.
Yes.
I love it.
And
The 80s stuff with the video and all that. Yeah, it's good. It's good songs and stuff, but it's not like that early stuff. I'm
No, the
sorry. It's
70s
just not
jam.
to me.
and
I grew up on the 80s MTV.
Sure.
Yes.
Hart.
Right.
And our thing is, we were kind of young
like
in the
that too.
70s and 80s going into each. So
Mhm.
our show is premised on the 80s, but we do 70s, we do 80s,
Yeah.
we do whatever. We should call this D&D whatever Dynamite.
Because we don't know whatever's going to happen. So
but
that's
the
a great
music,
name.
some of the music of the 70s, and DC's right. When the original Heart, I mean, it was just, it's just iconic. And the 80s was great. Don't get me wrong. Great music, but it wasn't quite 70s iconic level.
Yeah.
Magic Man, Crazy
it's
on
kinda,
You.
It's kind of like when you look at
Phenomenal.
You look at Kiss in the 70s, iconic. And then the 80s, everything else is great.
They played 80s.
but
Yeah,
it's
they played
just
some
not
stuff in the
quite-
80s, but that was not their
It's
stuff.
not quite the
70s.
iconic Kiss.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know, that's kind of, yeah.
That's the way I view that. It's the same way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was a magical decade.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, from the late 60s all the way through the 70s, and maybe the first part of the 80s, the first couple of years of 80s.
Yeah.
But those bands and those songs and stuff that came out in that era they haven't been surpassed, in my opinion, since.
No.
No.
I mean, and if you look at the bands with the longevity like Heart, Aerosmith, Kiss, AC/DC, the 70s is where everything kind of originated at. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, the music produced in the 80s and beyond is great, but it's that iconic base that set those groups up.
Well, and plus the 70s, people were still experimenting. So what you'd have is this band sounded like that band sounded like this. You know, this band had a good guitar player, that band had a great keyboard player. And nowadays, I mean, I'm not going to say homogenized, but it seems like they kind of figured out, oh, this is what people want to hear in a hit, so they all kind of do the same.
And the other thing with these
Not
is
bad. I mean, they're doing a great job. I love a lot of the current songs and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's not the 70s.
Right. Right.
And one thing that we've always talked about, kind of moving from 70s and 80s into current times, is a lot of the musicianship has kind of went away with folks using tracks. And it's kind of, one of our guests, and I forget who it was, but they kind of said, you know, if you don't quite have the voice, now we have all the instruments to make the
All the
voice,
technology,
you know?
we can make it. We can make
Yes.
it sell for you. You know, we can make it sell. Yeah. And I was just, yeah, you're right. It's not the same
No.
musicianship as it used to be.
And people back then, they would listen to each other and they would think, wow, that guy's really creative. How did he find that chord progression or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
So we would try to, you know, be as creative in our own way, and it was kind of a competition, and people demanded, you know, high imagination and high creativity back in those days.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve, I got to ask this. How's it feel to be a part of the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yes.
We've interviewed a couple. We've interviewed a couple. We've interviewed Gina Shock from the Go-Go's, and we've interviewed Ricky Bird from Joan Jett,
Mhm.
and yeah. So
It-
I
you
seen
know,
the thumbs down.
No, it was.
He's
that was
totally
a joke.
joking.
That
He's
was a
the
joke.
complete
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I mean, Summer and I, we've been there probably way
handful
more,
of
yeah,
times at
way more
least.
than
Yeah.
anybody else in our band has been there,
Yeah.
and anybody else we know, really. But you know, we meet some great people. The people that work there are very dedicated, and they're you know, we consider them friends. And then there's people that deal with the Rock Hall that we met through the Rock Hall that are our friends now, and we communicate with them. And it's just, and we've been to several inductions.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
And one of the things, Steve, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask you in Summer here. I mean, such an amazing history. And I'm always curious, like, about bucket list. And I know D&D Dynamite 80s was on the very top of your bucket list, but now
Sure it
that's
was.
marked off.
Right.
What would be the top item on your bucket list now that D&D's marked off?
Well, I've always wanted to play Madison Square Garden, and that's something that eluded Hart
Yeah.
back in the day, and it's so far eluded us too. So maybe someday.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
That is so odd that you say that, because I can't remember what guest, but another guest said the same thing.
Yeah.
They would love to play Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Summer,
So that's awesome.
Summer,
Yeah,
how
we
about
did.
you?
Maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I don't even know because I haven't even played half the places that Steve's played, so anywhere's good for me. Really, I'm happy to play wherever.
Yeah.
So as long as it's with you, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome.
It's fun. It's,
Yes.
it's nice getting to do music with your husband. I mean,
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
great.
And
That's
last
amazing.
I was going to ask that. Yeah. How that
very, very
works out.
wonderful year. And we were in Tennessee, we were in the Carolinas, we were in Florida.
Do you realize they're out of Tennessee?
Where were you in Tennessee? Where did you play?
We were. Oh, I'll
Go
say
ahead.
we were in Murfreesboro.
What?
How did
That's
we
where I'm
miss
sitting
this?
right now.
And I'm in
At
Smyrna.
the front door. How were you guys not there?
How did we miss this?
I don't know.
It was at a beer park, right? A beer. They had tons of beer. Oh, I know that.
That could be about anywhere.
It was a beer park. Like I'm pretty sure.
It was Murfreesboro. How long ago?
That's fall.
Last fall. Yeah.
DC,
What?
how did we miss this?
I have no
It was in
earthly
October
idea.
or November, something like that.
And
Huh.
we played the Dixie Carter Theater.
Huntington.
Okay. Yeah,
Dixie
Huntington.
Carter
Yeah.
Performing
Yeah.
Arts Center.
I think that's
Yeah.
West Tennessee. Uh-huh.
That was really fun. We hit a deer.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
I-
yeah. Well, you're going to hit deer there in that area for sure. Yeah.
Of all my driving through mountain passes, even here in Washington, I've never hit a deer until I was on the highways of Tennessee and hit a deer, and it
But here's the
Scared me to
deal.
death.
Here's the deal. So the deer, when I looked up, she put on the brakes and she steered this way a little bit. And the deer was right here in the headlights, and the deer jumped, and all she hit was the rear hoof.
Oh.
so it wasn't so bad. But granted, everybody's in the car and they're all looking down at their phones and all and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm crying because I just hit this deer and
That
everything.
you done killed the deer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and I think we should stop and see if it's okay. You really don't want to stop on a freeway.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right, right.
No, probably not. Especially
No.
not in Tennessee because,
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, we're not the best drivers in the world down here. I'm
No.
sure you've
No, we're not.
experienced that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Washington
Well-
Drive is the best.
Oh god.
Oh,
Uh,
let
That is-
me go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Dewey.
just flabbergasted. We missed them, DC. I don't
Me
know how
too.
this happened.
That's what I was about to
So,
follow up with. I
I'm gonna
don't
blame
understand
all,
how
I'm
that
blaming,
happened.
I'm blaming all that on DC.
Well, of course.
That's all his fault. So next
we'll
time,
just have to come back to
yes,
Tennessee.
you'll have to come back.
We'll roll out the red carpet for you.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes, we'll come do a live remote there.
Yes.
Yes, we did the whole Nashville, crazy Broadway stroll along there.
Yes.
And I hadn't been in years, and it seriously to me, it felt like I was in Vegas, like the streets, everybody in
Yeah.
there. And it wasn't like that years ago when I went. And I was like, wow,
Yeah, it was crowded.
it was happening.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nashville
It has
really
exploded.
changed.
It
Yes.
really has.
Yes,
It really
we-
has. And what is so amazing about it, there's a variety of different kinds of musicians here now
It's everything. Yes.
that's coming in.
Yeah.
Tommy Shaw, I know, has made a home here. And I think Mick Mars has a in the area too. So I know there's several. Kid Rock has one here, and there's several people that are living here now that in the area.
One of the ladies from Heart lives in Nashville now,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
and her
Okay.
band, I think she recruited from Nashville.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, it's a variety of different kinds of artists that it's amazing to, like you said, to go down there and just walk around a little bit and see what's going on and what's
Stop in
happening.
and catch the music, and
Go through some of
Yes.
the honky tonks, and you'll hear a variety of different kinds of music. And where you think it's just country music, it's not. I think people get the wrong kind of impression of that
Oh, no,
sometimes.
there's a
There's a variety.
I can't remember the
Yeah.
name of. There's an amazing blues like cafe bar
Mhm.
down there
Mm-hmm.
that the musicians are amazing. I love. Anytime I go to
Yeah.
Nashville, I'm going in there for a while. So
Yeah, he's a blues guy. He
amazing.
likes
Yeah.
that blues. Yeah, that's great stuff. Let me
Right.
ask you. how you met all the folks that started Heart. How did that take place?
Well, Roger and we met when we were juniors in high school. I think we were 13, and we became friends. And that friendship, we both discovered we had an extreme fondness for rock and roll music. So that's what we talked about and listened to and bought the records of the artists of the day. And like we saw the Kinks and the Beach Boys and Paul Revere and the Raiders. And, remember the shows back then were each band had 20 minutes and there was like 4 or 5, 6 bands, just go. Anyway, it was really fun. And then when we graduated from junior high, which was 9th grade, and we were going to be sophomores, which was 10th grade, of course. Everybody in our class that were like, oh, I went out and I got a drum set, and oh, I went out and got a guitar, and oh, I'm playing the keyboards and stuff. And Roger and I looked at each other and went, hey, let's join the fray, So he rented a guitar and I rented a bass, and then for the first 2 years that we had our instruments, we didn't play together at all. But and then when we were juniors in high school, we walked home from high school to my parents' house, which was not that far from the school. And we were talking. We said, let's start a band. And we shook hands on it. And we said, we're not going to stop until we make the big time. So he knew a drummer, and I knew another guitar player, keyboard player, singer, and we put it together, and we called it the Army. And then we were at the Army for a year, and people were kind of upset by the name, and there was a big Army base around here that we couldn't play at because we called ourselves the Army. So we changed our name to White Heart for a year, from 68 to 69. And then everybody kept saying, well, what's a White Heart? So Roger and I thought about it. We said, well, let's just shorten it to Heart. And we started thinking about, well, Heart means so much, and it means something different to everybody. But to us, we wanted to put our heart in the music. And, we really felt obligated to live up to the name of Heart. So that's what we did. And, and then, of course, members come and go because a lot of members are there for a hobby, and they don't want to work that hard at it, and you just so you have to find people that are as ambitious and driven as Roger and I was, which was hard to do because we would annoy so many other musicians by being And when we met Ann, we knew we had someone who was just as dedicated as us, and that's what it takes. You got to have all these people pulling in the same direction, pulling for the same thing, and not giving up. So
yeah. So did Nancy come along pretty quick after that too?
It was a couple of years because she was finishing up college.
Okay.
So she finished up her college, and and we were a 5-piece rock band, and we were huge in Vancouver, British Columbia at the time. And Nancy stepped in, and we got huger.
Yeah. To say the least. Yeah.
And then we came to the attention of Mike Flicker and Mushroom Records, and we did a demo there, and one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden it's Dreamboat Annie came out.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That is amazing stuff.
And Howard was a studio musician at that studio, and he did a lot of stuff on the record, so we tapped him to be the second electric lead guitar player. And then we ran into Mike DeRozier down here in the Seattle area, who was a devotee to Led Zeppelin, and at the time we were too. We had a big Led Zeppelin medley that we did. And stuff. One thing led to another, and we recorded all those.
Off it went. Yeah. That's amazing.
Awesome. Yes.
Great stuff. Before we get out of here with you guys, talk to us about what you got coming up? What's some projects that you're working and places you're going to be and all that good stuff?
Well, we in a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, we're going to do a benefit for, or not a benefit, but a memorial for Bob Rivers, who was actually. Do you guys know who Bob Rivers was or is?
Not right off the bat. No.
Famous DJ on the East Coast, and then he ended up on the West Coast. And
Okay.
No, he actually joined Heart by Heart in the beginning for a couple of
Wow.
years,
Okay.
and then he did the Twisted Tunes. Remember those Twisted Tunes?
Yes. Okay.
That was Bob Rivers.
That's Bob. Okay.
Yeah, Bob.
I think
he's a friend of ours, and his his,
Yeah.
friend of ours, and so we're going to do a memorial to him in about a month.
Wow. How awesome is that?
And,
That is
so
right.
we Heart by Heart has had some I don't know, little issues with health and stuff. Lizzie got her double hip replacement. What do you
It's
say?
like, you tell everybody. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess it's that public.
Well,
but
yeah, I mean,
Okay, yeah.
and when you have a big operation or whatever like that,
Sure.
you can't really say, "Oh, it's going to be, everything's going to be fine." You don't know that.
Right.
Everything is
Yeah.
fine, but we didn't know that before she went. So.
anyway,
Right.
we don't have a ton of stuff lined up right now. But it's okay. We just keep rehearsing and getting better and improving the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're going to use this time to improve our outlook on music and stuff. And
Sure.
we had a great rehearsal yesterday. It was really fun. So
Amazing.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
we're still a garage band. We rehearse in the garage.
awesome. Wow.
That's the most iconic statement I think I've ever heard on this show, is for Steve to say we're still a garage band. That's
we're a
just
garage
amazing.
Yeah.
Because in
The
a
Hall of
garage,
Famer.
nothing sounds like a garage.
Right.
You put if you're in the studio, you have earphones on and everything's all compressed and all EQ'd
Yeah.
and everything. In a garage, the drums are here, the bass is here, guitars over there, the keyboards, the vocals here, and it all blends together in the middle of the room, and that's rock and roll right there.
Yes.
Got
Yes.
that certain sound to it. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense for sure. Oh, I would. Now I wish you guys wouldn't have told us that you were right here in our backyard. That just makes me sick. Y'all have got to get here again
Yes.
at some
Summer,
point.
oddly enough, Summer and I have a time machine.
That's all right.
Hey, works
Well,
out
let's
perfect.
make that work. Let's
If you-
make that work.
If you can go back to, or either go ahead to Friday morning or tomorrow morning, actually this week, join us for breakfast. DC's buying. In case
I'm
y'all
buying.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Buying
Yeah.
for everybody. Come on
Right.
down.
I'll take
Some grits.
I'll take some.
Yes. See,
I love
normally,
grits now.
normally,
no toast.
normally I just get like a sausage biscuit and some coffee.
But he
no,
goes all
tomorrow
out.
morning, no.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big breakfast tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he goes all
DC.
out when he doesn't have to pay for it. Oh wow.
Oh, wait, tomorrow's Thursday. We
I
got
know.
Well, we're out of school on Friday.
Right.
No
Oh,
school
so
for
we're,
us. Good
so we're-
Friday.
we're
so
doing it
we're
tomorrow
gonna slip
morning.
it back to Thursday.
Okay. Are
That's
you
the end
guys?
of the week for us.
Are you on spring break? Is that your kind of break, or
no, it's
No, it's just an Easter break.
Good
Good
Friday.
Good Friday.
Yep. Yeah, we're taking. So we're
So
getting.
yeah, they're out of the kids are out of school on Good Friday.
what grade do you teach?
I am a freshman environmental science teacher.
Wow.
And I'm an assistant principal in his hallway.
He's the boss. He's the
Oh,
boss. He's
but-
right down the hallway from me.
But before I became an AP, I taught AP computer science, computer systems, and virtual reality practicum that I wrote for the state. So, but now I've been an assistant principal for 3 years, I guess, something like that.
3
So,
years. Yeah.
For
so-
you.
So when I went to high school, which was 66, 67, 68, the vice principal was the guy that had chased me all over the place. Me to get a haircut.
He has to
Well,
chase
see,
down kids
Here-
on a
here-
regular basis.
Here's
that's
the
for
cool
sure.
thing, though, about my job now. there's cameras all throughout the school, so my chasing
That limits
doesn't
it.
involve me
Yeah.
running a lot. I
Right.
know where
That-
they are
that
when
does
I go
some
get 'em.
limiting. Yeah,
But
that
our kids,
eliminates it.
our kids are amazing. So we,
They are.
they do a great job.
I think that too. Our niece is an amazing person, and I love the generation that's coming up right now.
Yes, they are amazing, and our teachers do an amazing job. Even DC, I'll give him a little credit.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you guys are you're way too smart to be talking to people like that.
Well, no.
No, we're not.
No. I don't know if you can see him up here, but I was in industry, and I was in leadership for 30 plus years, went back to college, got my doctorate, and went into education. So, I'm just there to
Cool
help support my
story you
teachers
have.
and
Yeah.
support the students. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
in
I
year
love
I'm in year 33. I think. Yeah, 33.
wow.
They add up. And I coached football for 29 of those. So I gave
Yep.
up the coaching. But
Nice.
yeah.
We
So
all-
we stay busy. We both stay busy, that's for sure.
It's
Okay.
fun times, but I want to say before we wrap everything up, either congratulations or condolences, because now Stephen Somar, you're now part of the D&D family. So either congratulations if that's a good thing, or condolences if not. So we'll leave it up to you to decide.
No, we appreciate y'all so much.
Yes,
being
we
on.
do.
You had me at the Goonies.
Yeah,
That's what-
to sort of digress a little bit. Summer was the vocal coach for
A high school musical.
Amazing.
Oh,
Very
wow.
neat.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It was really fun to work with the kids. They did Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They're so
Our-
eager, aren't they? They're so eager to learn.
They really
They
are.
they soak it in. They
Our
really do.
our kids actually just did a musical, something about the Addams Family, but they did an amazing job. So thank you for that as
yeah,
well,
for
Summer.
doing
So
that
that's
kind
amazing.
of work. That is great stuff.
Look,
Really
I've got
is.
one more sign I've got to show you before we get out of here. The Blues Brothers, of course. That's one of my
Nice.
favorite from the
106
70s.
miles from Chicago. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
Lizzie
Leonard-
was based in Chicago.
I'm
Lizzie
sorry?
was, yep.
Yep.
Lizzie.
Yeah,
the
oh, okay.
member.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Awesome.
fantastic. Summer, give us the websites and social sites and all that we can follow the band.
Yes.
I know
You
them, but
can on heartbyheart.com. And we have an Instagram, which is Heart by Heart Official.
Yep.
And I think that's, and Facebook, Heart by Heart.
Heart by Heart. Okay.
Folks, make sure you check out all of their work. It's amazing. And if they come to an area where you're at, go see them.
Yeah, don't miss out like we did.
I know. I can't believe I'm still DC. We're going to have a long talk.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be more observant.
Yes.
No, we're going to have to get these guys back to Nashville.
Yes,
we
definitely.
need to, definitely
Definitely.
figure that out. You know,
Yes,
talk
we
to
would.
David or Roy or somebody.
Yeah.
DH.
Yeah. See
we'll,
if we can get something.
we'll
worked
toss
out.
that around and see if we can get somebody
Maybe-
to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and if you see two older guys that are bald headed on the front row, you'll know it's us. We'll be screaming the loudest.
Yeah.
So we'll
Okay.
definitely will not miss we definitely will not miss you the next time you come around.
No,
town, that's for
definitely.
sure.
Definitely.
So
It's been a pleasure
so-
to meet you guys for sure.
yeah, it was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure too. And let's stay in touch. And
Definitely.
If you guys have some more questions, that'd be great. And then if we have something special coming up in the future, we'll have John get a hold of you.
Amazing. Yes. We would love for you.
Oh,
Anytime
please
you would
do.
love to come
Please
back
do.
on, please. We would love to have you back on. It's been amazing meeting and talking with you guys tonight. We really appreciate y'all so much.
All right, thank
And folks, that's going to lead us in. That's going to wrap it up.
Can
for
you guys
another-
hang with us
Oh.
to the end of the show?
We can.
All right. Go ahead, DH.
All
You
right,
tried to
so-
take my thunder.
Well, somebody's got to do your job. You wasn't, so somebody has
I
to
am
do
failing
your
at
job.
it.
I need more pay when I'm having to do your job as well.
I
Folks, that's
understand.
going to do it for another episode of D&D Dynamite 80s. What an amazing show. We'd like to thank Heart by Heart for joining us tonight. Check their workout. Remember,
Stephen
folks,
Somar, we appreciate you.
yes. Remember, folks, you can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, on our website, Canyon Star TV. We're part of their family. So you can see our show there. Just check us out. Like, share, subscribe. Give a shout out. Complaints go to DC. Email them straight to
Take
him.
all
No
the
worries at
complaints.
all of the good news you can send to me, and I'll be glad to not share it with DC. So it's all good. Folks, as I end off before I always send it over to DC, it doesn't cost anything extra to be kind. So always be kind to each other. DC?
Amen. Let's get the sponsors in real
Let's
quick.
do it.
How about that?
D&D Dynamite 80s would like to thank their sponsors, Hudson's Flags and More,
Tell that boy to buy his dad a
Nesting
cheeseburger.
Project of Smyrna,
Most
Tennessee,
definitely.
PJG Marketing, Totally Cool 80s, Charlie Bubbles Cares for Kids, Jackie's Creations on Facebook, Riley Rhodes Art Designs at RileyRhodes.art on Instagram, and the Magic Yarn Project. You can find all these great folks online.
Yes, you can.
Yes. Hey, folks, listen, I want to give just a word here. If you're looking for an organization or a couple of organizations to support, or you're thinking about giving, two organizations we are very privileged to be able to support and be part of their family. The Magic Yarn Project, and what these folks do, it's all volunteers across the nation. They hand knit head coverings like superheroes and princes, and they give them to kids that are battling cancer for free. And those head
They're
coverings
wonderful, wonderful people.
make a huge difference for those kids. So check those out. Also, Charlie Bubble Cares for Kids. Our friend the Vooch, right there behind you, DC. Yep, there you go.
Actor Paul Carafotis, yes.
And what they do, folks, is if you make a donation, they provide a book for a child that may not be able to afford the book. And as educators, we know how important literacy is at a young
Mhm.
age. So we're just asking thoughts, prayers, if you want to support them financially, whatever you want to do, let's just keep these organizations kind of in your thought
thoughts.
process. And we would appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fine job, my friend.
Hey, another great show. What an amazing, I figured out the success to our show is our guests.
Is you? Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Summer, you guys carried this
It's
show
you
tonight. You
guys.
did an amazing
Yeah,
job. So
absolutely.
our followers really appreciate you guys coming on, so they
Yes.
don't have to listen to us. So we really appreciate that.
Oh, wow. Next week, my friend, we've got Cathedral. They're a Van Halen tribute band.
Yes.
So
yes.
we'll check in with some of those guys and see what they've got going on. That's
Yes, well,
exciting.
And folks, we're going to give you just a little sneak peek. We're going to kind of change up the show a little bit starting in August. We're booked all the way through July. Starting in August, we're going to start doing like a month-long tribute.
Monthly theme, yeah.
So the first tribute we're going to do is Elvis Presley, and we'll have some folks
in August.
on.
Yeah.
We've had some folks on before from Elvis Radio and all of that.
Elvis
So
Enterprise. Yep.
Elvis Enterprise. So
Mhm.
we'll have some folks on, maybe have some tribute artists on, and we're going to kind of do a month.
Celebrate that whole month.
Celebrate that month. So we're going to try something a little different, but
Tell them what September is, my friend.
September, Van Halen month.
Van Halen
We've
month.
officially established Van Halen month. So we would definitely, we're going to same thing. So we're going to kind of do it just a little bit different, try something just a little different, but all of our guests, we're going to keep
Now,
doing what we
Steve's
do.
inspired me. We may have to do a heart month.
I think October. We can go ahead and book Heart by Heart now for October.
Yeah, we'll have them back on.
Yes, we'll do.
We'll
there
keep
we go.
in touch and let's do a heart month.
Heart month is October. There you go.
There we go. We've already
So,
decided it.
there we
There
go.
you go.
Done.
So we'll dedicate
We'll
to
book
heart
it.
in our
Yes,
shows
and-
that's all.
Yes,
what
and
we'll do in
Stephen Summer,
October.
if it's okay, DC will be
We'll
in
have you back.
touch. Have y'all back on in October and talk some more heart.
We'll talk some more heart.
Amazing. Look, we're already booking the year, man. It's just amazing.
How easy can this be?
I'm
If we get
telling-
together
hey.
doing this.
Right.
So are you guys going to put the check in the mail or?
Oh,
Yes, here's the thing about the check, okay?
I haven't seen a check
we,
yet.
We have been doing this for 5 years, and DC has paid me one check with a 0 on it, nothing else. And he said if I'm
Now, I take
really
that-
good, if I'm
Yeah.
really good through year 5, he's going to give me one with 2 zeros and nothing else on
Now
it. So
you're not being 100% honest with him. I gave you a paper with a check on it.
that's
check
what it
mark.
was. A check mark with a 0 beside it.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
It all works out.
So it all
But
works
he's-
out in
but-
the end.
He's treating you at Waffle House though. So see,
See, that
That's how you're getting paid.
but
that's
you
your
know,
thing.
the whole funny part about that is I always let him choose the artist he wants out of the selection.
Yeah, and always lose. Yeah, I was telling him that. So I
So-
don't know.
But
There you go.
again, tomorrow morning when I'm lifting up my cup of coffee at about 6 o'clock, I will definitely, Stephen Somar, say, "This is to you. Thank you so much for my breakfast as I enjoy it. As I order something extra just to be fun." No, I won't.
Summer and Steve, it's been an honor to meet you guys.
Yes,
Safe
been
in
our
all your
honor.
travels. All the best to your families. And please say hello to the other band members for us. And maybe we can have them. We'll do a big show in October with everybody on or whatever.
And so if you guys like when we do a show, we'll always have 10 or 15 minutes backstage to,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
We
so
we would love that.
So you guys be ready.
Yes, we can
okay,
do.
fantastic.
We can do a live show and do that. That would be amazing. So
That
yes,
would
thank
be
you for
great
that.
stuff.
Amazing.
Great stuff. Like I said, all the best to you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank
Yes.
y'all so much for
Okay.
joining us.
All right. As DC always leads us out, keep playing those 80s and 70s and 60s, my friends, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.